Hello everyone, this is Josh from Monroe County Public Library, and I'm going to show you another digital creativity at home software that you can do for free. And this time I'm going to be talking about something that we've used before, and that's Blender. You can get this from blender.org, and this other software that's a web app available from this website, monstermash.zone. That's monstermash, all one word, .zone. And what Monster Mash is a modeling website that you can use to quickly create cool 3D models. And this is something as easy as drawing a shape, and it turns it immediately into a 3D model. I'm going to show you that here in a moment. Our project today is going to be to have a 3D model that takes, I don't know, let's say like a minute to make. And, that may sound like overselling it, but let's go through the functionality of this program. Monster Mash is pretty blank by default. I'm going to select what I have here to show you the default view. So I'm going to hit Command A and delete to delete that. And in the default view, you can start a new project. You can open a project so you can export things and bring them back in if you'd like. You can also export to specific formats like OBJ or GLTF. We're going to be using GLTF today, and the extension for that is GLB. Sometimes it's not GLTF, it doesn't really matter. The important thing about this one is that it contains texture data and animation data, which we're going to need. And object file, if you want to export something as that, you can put that into 3D printing programs I know, and there's probably a lot of other stuff that use that as well. There's this draw button, there's this inflate button, animate, display, pause, and record button here. This view button, we're not going to use that too much. Delete what you have selected here. And then there's this help menu, which is very helpful. It goes through everything that you need to know. And this is where I got all the information that I have to show you what I'm about ready to do here. So what I'm going to show you here is the first step. And again, I'm just going to draw a circle. And it's just clicking down and making a circle. And if I go to inflate, I have a 3D model here. So that's like a 2-second model. So, I could go back to the draw mode and maybe let's draw this stem on here. And now I have something that's kind of like an apple or something. It's not perfect, it's not great, but it's something. And I can go ahead and just export this as an object file. There's probably gonna be some issues that this is detached from this. Probably some other things, but it's a quick and dirty model. You can do animate, and with the animate button, you can click down to create a point and then drag it around to animate it, or you can click to add the point and animate it afterwards. So I'm going to show you the first part here. So clicking down, and actually, I think you can only just move around after you add like the initial point. So you add a point where you want to animate from. So I'm going to add one here. There, so I have 3 here, left, right, bottom. And if I want to animate it, I can just click this record button, find the one that I want to move around. So if I want to move this one, I can go up, down, and now it's moving. I can pause and then hit the record button again. And let's move this one around, play that. So now I have 2 points of movement, and this third point is kind of stationary. Pause it again. Let's go to record again. And let's move this one left and right, and let's play it. So I can export this. This would be an animation saved into the GLTF format. I would suspect that it probably carries the same texture with it, but this is pretty cool, and it's a neat thing to mess around with. But it's kind of questionable what you can do with this. So what I'm going to show you how to do is the 1-minute model now. And for that, I'm going to go to this import button here. I'm going to go down, not to open a project, but I'm going to open a template image. So a template image is something you can draw on and create a 3D model from it. The background image would be drawing a 3D model in front of it. So I'm going to go to template, grab my horse picture that I downloaded earlier, and I can start drawing around this. So I'm just going to go here, and we're going to try to be careful, but I don't have to be like super careful, I guess. And I don't want the legs just yet. And if I go into inflate, And it's a very horrifying looking horse, but the really cool thing about this is you can see this detail like on the sheen of the skin. And you can go back into draw mode here and draw things like the ears. So make this little ear shape here. And I can draw around the legs. Again, try to be careful to stay on the actual leg shape. And draw around here. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty close to, what I want. Let's go ahead and get this hoof here. And I think that that's good. So if I go to inflate now, I have a horse with legs here. And you can see it's a little weird. One thing that's notable is that if you get off of the object that you're drawing over, it does pull in the background. So my background was white, so it's pulled in white here. It's probably not going to mess with my drawing too much, but it could affect what you grade, so be aware of that. If the horse or whatever you're using is in front of something, it's probably easier to hide where you've messed up on selection. And, right now our horse only has 2 legs and 1 ear. So I'm going to go back to draw mode, and one of the shortcuts that I learned is to click an object like this leg here, and you can see this selected with blue, double click it, and it turns red, and that duplicates it. So I'm going to do that to these, and I'm also going to duplicate these ears. I could draw the separate ear, but I don't think it's going to come out right, so I'm just going to duplicate that ear. And now if I go to animate, you'll see this splits off into this probably more horrifying horse. You can move things around, by the way. So if I move the leg, pull it in, I can move around the ears here. I'm not going to mess around with it too much in this program because I can use Blender to kind of make this easier on my life. You can go to animate and do some animations and stuff like that. Again, we're not going to do it, but you do need to be in this animation window to export it correctly to the right format. Once I'm in here, I can go to the export and get this GLTF file. Once that's downloaded, I hit export here, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up Blender. And for some reason, it lost focus immediately, but that's fine. Just hit General. And now you may need to know some Blender things, but to make it real easy, I'm going to hit A, that selects everything. I'm going to hit X to delete, and Enter to delete it all. You can set up Blender to automatically have a blank scene like this. I'd look that up so you don't have to delete your stuff automatically every time, but that's a topic for another day. And now I want to import my file. So it's import, it's down here, it's GLTF right here. And if that's not on your Blender version, you may need to update, but you can go into Edit and Preferences, and under Add-ons, if you search for that GLTF, you see that there is an add-on where you can import it. You just need to have this check mark ticked. I'm going to go ahead and hit Import and get my model here. And again, you can import like a OBJ here. So if I export it to that, I'd have my horse file without any texture. And I'm going to go to Downloads here, find my GLB file, import it. And now you can see this amazing creation that I have here. It doesn't have the texture data. You can view the texture data by clicking this button here, which is called Viewport Shading, or this other one here is the rendered view. I'm just going to use Viewport Shading, it's a little bit quicker. And now you can see that I have this 3D horse. It's like a 1-minute model. And you may say, well, how is this useful? So if you have like a scene, a 3D scene where you need horses in the background, boom, you have your horse. You can also, because Blender is an editing program and an animation program, you can move things around here with its legs or its ears or whatever. You could make it walk across the screen if you wanted to. It's a little bit more complex than what we're doing here, but you could do all of that. One thing that we probably want to do though is to move these legs in to kind of make this a little bit more normal looking. So I need to be tabbed, or I need to hit tab to go into edit mode. And I can click any point on this leg. You can see I have this dot selected. Hit Command L, Control L on Windows, and then grab it. And I want to constrain it probably to the Y-axis. So I'm going to hit Y and move that over. Do that on the other leg. Grab a point, Command L. That selects all the points and vertices on an object. And then grab, which is moving it, on the Y again. And pull that in. And now I can actually like grab this and then move it on the x-axis maybe, and make this a little bit further behind this leg. And I can do that with the other leg as well by clicking it, Control or Command L, grabbing it on the Y, and getting this one, Command L again, grab G, Y to move on the axis. And then you can move this one further back as well or forward by like Command L-ing again, grabbing it, and then let's move this onto the x-axis a little bit further back from the other leg. And if I go back into my object mode, you can see that if I put this in the background of something, it would be a believable horse. I mean, if you know, again, probably white is a bad color to have around. So if your horse is in front of grass or woods or something, it'd probably work a little bit better. But you could totally put this in the background of a scene and it would be an object. You could also go back into edit mode, hit A to select everything, and hit Command J to join it all. And then back in object mode, this is all one object now. So if I grab it and move it around with the G key, it's all one object. So, you know, I can move this backwards by grabbing it on the y-axis, moving it far back there. I can Command C and copy it and move this out of the way and paste another one. I'm going to paste it a bunch of times. Grab the copies here. And now I'll suddenly have a group of horses back in the back of my scene, you know? So it makes it really easy to make quick and dirty models. It's pretty fun to mess around with. And while I haven't like really explored the animation functionality, I encourage you to share with us the results. I'm sure it'd be really cool to see how that works, like kind of in this Blender workflow here. But what you can use this for is to do a quick, fun model and just explore things and, you know, set up some crazy scenes with horses, you know, rhinos, who knows what. Maybe you can even do this with a tree or a person, and you can also animate it. There's lots of good tutorials online on how to animate in Blender, and you should explore that as well. So with that, I hope you enjoy this project. You know, go out there and have fun with it, and we'll see you in the next one.